this message isn't new age, it's age old. It goes back millennia, the so-called perennial wisdom. And it's nothing new, it's old, it's been around since the beginning of time. And it finds itself being discussed and talked about through stories and parables and writings throughout the ages, and teachers have come and gone, and they've tried to explain the nature of self and the illusion of the egoic identity. And on this channel, I'm pointing to that same truth. I would say I'm living it, but I'm also part of the personalized realm of existence. I have responsibilities, I have difficulties, I have challenges. Chaos comes to visit daily sometimes. And one is always bringing order, or trying to bring order out of that. But underneath that story, the struggle, is peace, is effortless being, is the awareness that doesn't require anything adding to it and is in harmony with what is unfolding. And a sense that the I before I am, the absolute, my essential nature, is what is happening. So I, in that sense, am what is unfolding. I am the unfolding. The universe experiencing itself is a way of looking at it in terms of one's personal consciousness, of course. But again, that lives in, the clues in the title, lives in the personalized realm, and this is not that. This doesn't lend itself to description, certainly to knowing, and therefore it's difficult to verbalize and write. That doesn't stop me trying. Some people perhaps walk through their lives and have no interest in talking about their essential nature. They live it and breathe it, and it will manifest in different ways, of course, in their lives, through family and friends and relationship to other people. And there is no drive or need to talk about it. For others, perhaps it is different. So in that sense, we are all obviously individuals and living and learning in different ways, on different paths, so to speak. But actually and factually, there isn't any path being taken. It is just the effortless unfolding of this. And it is the same here as it is there. And there might be all sorts of questions, and there might be difficulties in understanding this, or the message might be understood, but there are supplementary questions you want to ask. I am available. There's a link in the description if you want some one-on-one face-to-face dialogue with me. But we are all questioning creatures, and we're all forward-looking creatures, and we need to know where we've come from, where we are, and where we're going. And that is the natural way of acting sensibly and responsibly. And along that journey, perhaps one should aim higher rather than lower. A previous video talked about aiming high. But that is not really what one should do. It is a natural unfolding when it is recognized that you aren't the story of you. You aren't your fears. You aren't your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, or your perceptions. That is the realm of personalized self, the ego constructed identity, but it's not what you are in essence. That is not your authentic self. We can get trapped in that and lost in that, and there are always invitations. I am given invitations continually to be drawn back into that world of suffering. And as long as you are aware of that, then the temptation is there, but you recognize actually that is just following old scripts. The idea of you've had and built up of yourself, of who you are over time. But actually, there's a draw and a need sometimes through fear and concern to hold on to that story, because better the devil you know. But actually letting go of that and having faith and jumping into the mystery, or allowing the mystery to manifest through you, is much simpler, and it creates an environment where you are open. You're not restricted, unclosed, but you have no need to defend a position. There's nothing in it for you anymore. It's not life or death. That is seen through as the illusion of time, as beginning and end. But when you have that sense of eternal presence, effortless awareness, the immutable, ever-present sense of being, existing, that's the beginning and the end. That is coming home, and that is just noticing, seeing, being aware. And that noticing, seeing, and being aware also happens not just in the world of form, where you can see what is happening around you and hear, and use the senses for being present, but it can work also in the psychological area, where thoughts grab your attention and you have a decision to make, whether to embrace that thought and become it, particularly if it's a negative energy, and go down into that rabbit hole of fear and constriction and limitation, or recognize that that's not you, that you're not what you think, that there is something eternal and divine in you, or of you, about you, that transcends whatever thoughts, feelings, perceptions arise in the moment. You don't stop them, you can't, but you don't have to attach to them. They are invitations back into the world of suffering. And when you recognize them as such, you can smile and nod and say, yes, there's that negative thought again. It loses its power over you, and rather than pouring petrol onto the flames and encompassing that into the story of you, and becoming fearful and anxious and worried and having guilt, regret and indecision, it effortlessly rises and then falls away, and you are left in the pristine space that was there before, during and after the thought arrived. And that isn't a place that you need to add to yourself through intellectual understanding. You can investigate it, of course, with the mind, but it is your default nature, and so you just need to uncover it. And you uncover it by following your passions, by looking around and allowing what shines forth to draw your attention and go there. What shines forth is the Absolute calling you back home to this place of pure, effortless awareness.